Well, so much for this video. I can't believe what I just watched. That wasn't just a loss. That was a full-blown collapse. Sentinels didn't just fumble the bag, they set it on fire and threw it off a cliff. And the worst part, this should have been a 2-0 for them. They had it. It was right there. But instead, we got whatever that was. I don't care if you're a Sentinels fan in full meltdown mode or a hater laughing your ass off. Drop your thoughts below. I need to know. Was this the biggest choke of the tournament or am I overreacting? I did not see this coming, and I know damn well you didn't either. I'm talking full jaw drop, brain error type of shock. I thought this was just a bump in the road, but my god, Team Liquid are actually making a case for being the dark horse of this tournament. And sure, maybe they deserve some props, but honestly, I can't even tell if they played that well or if Sentinels just absolutely collapsed and straight up handed it to them on that last map. They play so damn passively when they have all the tools to take control, and then the second they get backed into a corner, they suddenly think they're the hero of an anime going for hero plays left and right. Like, where was that urgency before it was do or die? I need you guys to see this. These rounds had me absolutely losing my mind. It's one thing to lose, but the way they threw some of this, actually painful. The hesitation, the misplace. Were we even watching the same Sentinels? Zekken gets his first blood, and instead of capitalizing, they turtle up. 4 stacked on A, Zellsis rotates B, and C is left with just the Vice util. Narrate has 2 dogs to clear B, but I guess we're playing 4D chess instead of just getting map control. This passive setup lets Liquid slip through C door, pulling Zellsis' attention. Then Nats sneaks up, deletes Narrate in C-Link, and suddenly, Zellsis is left covering way too much alone. Meanwhile, Bang and John Cutie are still having a date on A while Pati and Keiko collapse on Zellsis in C-Link. Just like that, it's a 3 versus 4 for Liquid. But Bang saves the round with a double, but again, it's just another hero play instead of actual structure. Round 8 kicks off with both teams trading 2 apiece in the A door fight. Cool, but then Second burns his ult for nothing. Even the caster was surprised.
Get in on top of it, it's a showstopper. Where the hell are you sending that one to the moon?
Team Liquid keeps pushing through A, picks off Second and John Cutie, and suddenly Zellsis is stranded in no man's land in a 1 versus 3. And I don't know what he's thinking, but he pops his ult like he's about to make a miracle happen, completely ignoring the fact that Liquid still has utility to shut him down. And guess what? That's exactly what happens. A full barrage of util rains down, he gets stalled out, and it's over. Maybe the tweets got in his head? They get a solid opening pick as they flood A, setting up a clean 4 versus 3 advantage, but then, disaster. John and Bang go for the double pick and somehow, they can kill a solo Pati in heaven. Meanwhile, Second is just sitting there, locked in place like a statue. This is not the Second I know. What have you done to this boy? Liquid takes full advantage, floods in, and snatches the pistol round right out of Sentinel's hands. Absolute disaster to start the round. Liquid is on an eco and somehow Zellsis gets caught wandering off alone. And then Zekken gets sniped, and just like that, it's a 3 versus 5 in Liquid's favor. But here's the kicker. After that blunder, they actually decide to be decisive for once. They full send into A, commit to the fight, and somehow salvage the round. Where was this energy before? Zellsis picks off a player early in B main, giving them the man advantage. They cut noise, group up for a C push, but Liquid is ready. A fight breaks out, and when the dust settles, it's a 2 versus 2.
Flash is dealt with as well. Kamyk, oh my, he's doing it all. Still showstopper in the hands of Zekken, but he's cleaned up. Tried to sit nice and pretty into the cage. You can't escape the eye of Nats.
Bang makes the entry, takes down Nats, and suddenly it's a 2 versus 1. Perfect spot to close it out. But then, they have no idea where the last guy is. So they slow things down. And hey, lucky for them, Kamyk takes the bait and rotates into C. But now, time's running low, and they panic rotate all the way to A. I don't know, this just felt way too safe for my taste. And honestly, maybe that hesitation is part of why this team is playing like this right now. Alright, deep breath. We head into Abyss, and this was Sentinel's chance to reset, to prove that the last map wasn't just a fluke, but instead, more pain, more confusion, more what are we even doing here moments. They get into a post plant with a clean 4 vs 2 advantage. Should be a done deal, right? But no. John, what are you doing? Zellsis and Rant are taking turns peeking mid-side like it's a carnival game. Someone spammed him from backside and instead of respecting it, John just shrugs it off. Straight to his death. That was all Nats needed to pop his ult and reveal everyone. And suddenly, it's chaos. Rant salvages it into a 3 vs 1 but Zellsis, bro, why are you lining up with Bang? Where's the high-low setup? You didn't even need to swing there. Just play off Bang's aggro. But no. Nats punishes all 3 of them and steals the round for Liquid. Man. The disaster round. This was it. They could have closed it out in this map, 2-0'd Liquid, and we'd be having a completely different conversation right now. But no, I'm not even gonna say much in this play. Just take a look at Tenz's reaction.
What? How do you two people drop off the map? Wait, dude! What the f?
Still, they're fighting tooth for nail. They don't want to give this one up.
How two? Whoa, the two people that fall off the map is the characters that can fly and the other character that can teleport. How is this possible?
That tells you everything you need to know. Liquid gets the plant down and Sentinels have the numbers. 4 vs 5, advantage, SEN. Jean's holding B tower, watching for some crazy jet updraft or an omen TP. Fair enough, but then Zellsis and co spot jet in B link and it's a 1-for-1 trade. And for some reason, Jean is still tunnel visioned on every possible flank that doesn't even exist. Bro, all 3 of his teammates are already on site, yet he's still paranoid about mid, and just as disaster strikes, he sneaks in one last peek. Meanwhile, the guys on site, they just started doing their own thing. Zekken and Bang get picked off like it's open season, and just like that, the round is gone. What baffles me the most in this round was, if you know there's a guy on site, wouldn't it be easier to just flood him as 4, clear him out, stick the defuse, then worry about the last guy? Like what? Every time I see Zekken holding an op, I get nervous. He hasn't exactly been the steadiest shot or the most patient when it comes to opping. But this round, he actually proved me wrong. Dude popped off and got 3. At this point, it's a 4 vs 1 in their favor. Round should be done, right? Wrong. Because somehow, someway, they let a guy named Kamyk solo them while just standing at the entrance of main. Literally just standing there. No fancy movement, no insane outplay, just standing there like a f***ing statue, and instead of double picking him, they all take turns missing. You can't even make this up, bro. Look, I know I've been saying I don't know a lot in this video, but I don't know if I should even bother breaking this one down, but screw it, let's just go to bind. This ult from Bang is just bizarre. He literally cuts off Zekken from the crossfire setup. And to make it worse, the Rant decides to go for a flank, leaving Zekken to hold multiple angles alone. Like, what are we doing here, guys? SEN wins the opening duels, putting them in a 4 vs 2 advantage. Again, a 4 vs 2. And I'm pretty sure you already know what's about to happen. They decide to end in A. The Rant sends a bird to triple box to check for enemies. And what do you know? The bird makes a sound. Which means there's someone there, right? Right? Meanwhile, John is holding Bang from A short while Bang is trying to take U-hold control.
What the f?
And then Zellsis proceeds to plant the spike. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Made it popular, no coverage, inside! Dance! I'm not even gonna bother with the rest, it's just straight up tragedy at this point. No breakdown, no analysis, just pain. As a fan, I am sad and mad right now, and I know some of you are too. We're not used to this. They played such a great second map, pushing the best Abyss team in EMEA to their absolute limit. And they should have won. They should have closed it out 2-0. But then bind happened, and it felt like they just wanted to pack up and leave. The energy was gone. The coordination, nowhere to be found. Zellsis said it himself, the team wasn't on the same page.
But I think as a team, we are not on the same page all the time.
Were they mentally checked out? Did the Teho factor wear off? Was it fatigue? Or did Liquid just outclass them? I'm not gonna lie, something feels off. A team doesn't just go from looking that good to whatever that was. Maybe there's something going on behind the scenes, maybe it's bigger than just a bad map, but whatever it is, this wasn't normal. And if Sentinels don't figure it out fast, they're in for a rough season. Like I said, we weren't used to seeing them play like this, but I guess it was only a matter of time before things unraveled. Let's be honest, this team hasn't looked right all season long. The only reason they even made it out of Americas is because the competition was mid, and they abused Teho before other teams figured out how to play around him. But when their backs were against the wall, they crumbled. Even Valyn said it in an interview yesterday.
The way we were playing some of our fracture and our bind back in America is people were not really testing us to force us to play slow. The Americas teams, we kind of just run over on those maps. EDG not so much, so we're gonna have to kind of go back to the drawing board on that.
No one in Americas is testing them. And maybe that's the problem. They weren't forced to adapt, to evolve. They got away with bad habits because the region just let them. But the second they faced a team that actually pushed them, they got exposed. This team is a mess right now. They rely too much on hero plays, but when they actually have the tools to win, they freeze up, they play slow, they play scared. And the only time they show urgency, when they're already drowning. And can someone please unleash Zekken? Ever since kickoff, it feels like he's playing with chains on. You see the moments where he could take over, but something is holding him back. And yes, I said it, Americas is not in a good place right now, but goddamn, I hope we get a team that actually figures it out because this region needs a savior. And as much as I want it to be SEN, there's just too much they need to fix before we can even put them in that conversation. I don't even know what to say anymore. I came into this game hyped, thinking SEN was about to cook. And instead, I got served the cold plate of disappointment. And I get it, teams have bad days, but this wasn't just a bad day. This was the boiling point. We've seen the cracks all season, and now the whole damn foundation is collapsing. And if they don't fix this soon, the season is cooked. Anyway, I'm done. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I overreacting, or is this team just falling apart in front of us? This region is on life support right now. Who's gonna save it? Because at this rate, it's not Sentinels. At least not right now. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed or at least mourned with me on this one, and I hope to still see you in the next one.
Fuck it, I'm back.